All right, so today we're doing something a little different. We're going to deep dive into just one source, some notes from April 1st, 2025.
Interesting date.
Yeah, someone trying to figure out what plant they were looking at. It's like, that thing where you see something, you're like, what is that? I got to know.
Yeah, totally. I've definitely been there.
So let's introduce ourselves for the folks tuning in for the first time. I'm the host.
And I'm the expert.
And the big question for this deep dive is, what is this mystery plant that caught our note-taker's eye? And how did they go about figuring it out?
Sounds good to me. Let's jump in.
Okay, so our note-taker, we'll call him Ang for short.
Okay, Aang.
Yeah, Ang was doing some grocery shopping,
Of all places.
right, just like a regular day.
Yeah.
And they spot this plant, and it really piqued their interest. They even jotted down some notes about it, trying to ID it.
I love that. So what did Aang think it was at first?
Well, initially, Ang thought it might be some kind of fern.
A fern, huh?
Yeah, because of the leaves.
Yeah.
The way they were kind of delicate and feathery.
Okay, I can see that.
But then they also mentioned it reminded them of like a big moss rose.
Interesting. So two very different plants.
Right, and that's what I found so intriguing. Like, how can one plant kind of evoke those two different images?
Yeah, that's a good point. It speaks to how sometimes plant identification isn't just a simple visual match.
Exactly, it's more nuanced than that.
Yeah, you got to look at the whole picture, the leaves, the stems, the growth habit, everything.
So, after a little more digging, Ang figured out that this mystery plant was actually Asparagus Densiflorus Sprengeri.
Asparagus.
Yeah, not the kind you eat, though.
Right, not the vegetable kind. This one's more of an ornamental plant.
Exactly. It's often grown for its foliage.
Makes sense.
And what's really cool is that Ang actually started thinking about getting one for themselves.
Oh, really? So they were that intrigued?
Yeah, it seems like it. But they were also thinking practically about, the plant's needs. Like, where would they put it? How much care would it need?
Smart. That's important to consider before you bring any plant home.
Yeah, for sure. And according to Ang's notes, they realized this Asparagus densiflorus would need a semi-shaded spot.
Okay, so not full sun.
Nope, it likes a little bit of shade. And Ang also noted that it prefers a humid environment.
Gotcha. So maybe a bathroom or a kitchen.
Yeah, maybe. Or even like a little humidifier nearby.
Yeah, that could work. And anything about watering.
Oh yeah, definitely regular watering.
So a bit of a commitment, then.
It seems so. And on top of that, it would need some pruning to keep it looking its best.
Ah, so not a low-maintenance plant.
Not exactly, but Ang was clearly up for the challenge, at least considering it.
Yeah, clearly.
But here's the thing. Ang also mentioned that they're usually more into flowering plants.
Oh, that's interesting. So this Asparagus densiflorus with its, more subtle beauty was kind of an exception for them.
It seems that way, right? And it makes you think about what draws us to certain plants in the first place. Is it the flowers, the foliage, the scent, or maybe a combination of all those things?
Totally. And sometimes it's even like a feeling or a memory associated with a particular plant.
You're so right. I have this one plant that reminds me of my grandmother's garden, and every time I see it, it just brings back all these warm feelings.
That's beautiful. It's amazing how plants can have that kind of power over us.
Yeah, it really is.
So, okay, let's recap. Aang went to the grocery store, saw this intriguing plant, thought it was a fern, then maybe a moss rose, but turned out to be Asparagus densiflorus Sprengeri.
Yeah, and they considered all the care requirements, and even though they usually prefer flowering plants, they were still drawn to this one.
What a journey.
Right, and it all happened in the middle of a grocery run.
Just goes to show that you can find inspiration and intrigue in the most unexpected places.
So true. Have you ever had a similar experience, like trying to figure out a plant you saw somewhere?
Oh, all the time, actually. I'm always snapping pictures of plants I don't recognize and then trying to ID them later.
I do the same thing. It's like a little botanical treasure hunt.
Exactly. And it makes you really appreciate the diversity of the plant world.
I think what's really cool about Ang's story is that it shows how even a simple encounter with a plant can spark curiosity and lead to a deeper appreciation for nature.
Absolutely. And I think that's something we could all benefit from a little more of in our lives.
On that note, I think it's time to wrap up this deep dive. Until next time.
Yeah. Thanks for listening, everyone.
And keep exploring the world around you. You never know what you might discover.
Absolutely.
See you next time.
Bye.